Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. It's me, Mr. Brewtown, from the greatest city in the world, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You're listening to the big show. We call it Brewtownsports. Look for us on Twitter and Google Plus Brewtownsports. Facebook is called Mr. Brewtown. You can listen to the big show at tpsradio.net, baseballtalkradio.com, stitcher.com, tunein.com, and itunes.com. Don't forget about Spreaker.com and also Podomatic.com, and then there's MaxSportsChannel.com. That's the new one. So go ahead and give us a listen. Just kind of bounce back and forth from each service and give us a listen, because the more you listen, hey, the better off and the higher rankings I get here on the big show. If you want to shoot us some emails, it's mrbrewtown78@gmail.com. Nice weekend here in the greatest city in the world, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Friday night, big Packer victory. We were happy with that victory. That defense was swarming. I mean, they were swarming, man. And it was a good chance to save some of the young players. And they all stepped up. I mean, the second and third team defense and the second and third team offense, they stepped up, and they played good against the Oakland Raiders. Aaron Rodgers looked good. The one thing that concerned me, and we're going to cover this a little bit later in the program, is Aaron Rodgers' numbers would have been much better if some of the guys wouldn't have dropped passes. And that's what preseason is all about, is guys can get that out of their system. So the Packers look good. They looked really good, and they're just ready. They're just ready. They play Thursday night against the Kansas City Chiefs in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So I'm excited. Friday night, not so good for the Milwaukee Brewers. They took the loss against Pittsburgh Pirates, and then Saturday they took a loss, and everybody was kind of, oh man, this team's done. That's it. We're not even going to be in first place come Monday. Come Wednesday, we're going to be so far out of it, we might as well just fold the tent up. Mike Fiers took care of that yesterday. He said, no, there's no way. I can beat this team. We can beat this team. And he went out and pitched a great game. And that's what Mike Fiers has been doing since he brought him up from AAA Nashville. And if you're not aware of Mike Fiers, you should get up online and take a look at this kid. This is a guy they brought up from AAA Nashville. They had a few adjustments to make, and he's been doing a great job down at AAA Nashville. He changed his release point. He changed his attitude. He changed his aggressiveness. He's pounding the plate, which is great. And the rest of the league hasn't quite figured him out yet. They haven't quite figured out what he's doing. And they will. I mean, somebody along the line is going to figure it out. And then Mike Fiers is going to be still winning baseball games. He's going to be pitching well, just not as good and as dominant as he has been. It's that simple. I mean, Mike Fiers is a good pitcher. Is this guy going to be an ace? No, he's not going to be an ace. I'm happy he's on the team. So Mike Fiers got the Brewers back on that winning. And that's what they've been able to do all season long. Just when you think it's all about to fall apart, that, okay, now we're going to see the real Milwaukee Brewers, somebody steps up and the team wins. And then they start to play better. And then now they get to go to San Diego. San Diego is 60-69 on the season. And you might say, oh, the Brewers, easy victory. I mean, easy victory, 3-game sweep. Don't ever count out the San Diego Padres in San Diego. I mean, it's a whole different place to play. Now, Milwaukee will go and they'll put Kyle Lohse in the mound. They want to win tonight, so they're going to throw Kyle Lohse up in the mound. He's 11-7 and a 3.49 ERA on the season. Now, he skipped his last turn through the rotation due to a sore ankle that was hampering his mechanics, especially in the last 3-inning outing. He threw a full bullpen session on Friday, and hey, the Brewers were happy. They said, you're ready to go. And Kyle Lohse says, I'm ready to go. And Kyle Lohse is one of those guys, he's not going to BS you. If he doesn't think he's ready to go, he's not going to say, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go, and then go out there and get embarrassed. He's just not. He's a veteran. He's going to say, you know, Coach, I'm still having a little bit of problems. I may need another day work. I think I'll be ready to go by Monday. Friday, he said, I'm 100% ready to go. The Brewers looked at it and said, you're 100% ready to go. So a big 9-game road trip for the Milwaukee Brewers. They'll take on Eric Stoltz, who's 6-13 and a 4.53 ERA. He will attempt tonight, Stoltz, to remain undefeated in August. He's 3-0 with a 1.46 ERA and 4 starts this month. Heading into his start against the Brewers tonight, he has a 3.18 ERA in his last 11 starts, 7 of those on the road. So this is a guy who started off the season not doing well. Now he's doing well. And the Padres are actually playing some pretty good baseball as of late. But they always do. Come August and September, all of a sudden the Padres start winning baseball games. So the Padres are one of those teams that scares me. especially when you play them out in San Diego. You've got the road trip, you got the jet lag, you've got the Brewers kind of looking around and saying, hey, we're in San Diego, man. Let's go out and have some fun. These are the trips that always concern me late in the season. Then after 3 games, they head off for 3 games to San Francisco. The Giants are a pretty good baseball team. And then you got the Chicago Cubs down in Chicago at Urenstein Stadium on the north side of Chicago. And the Cubs have been playing some decent ball as of late. So that's the next 9 games for the Milwaukee Brewers. Then they start that really, really hard end of the season where they take on the Cardinals and the Padres and the Reds and the Cubs one more time, and that's how they end their season. They throw in a little quick series with the Marlins, but that's how you're going to end your season playing against divisional foes. So that's how you win a division. Is you go in and you win 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. You win 2 out of 3 from the Pittsburgh Pirates. You win 2 out of 3 from the Chicago Cubs. And then win 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals again and the Pirates again, and you got this division. And you might even have a really nice lead, and you secure yourself a playoff spot. Because the Brewers don't want a wild card at this point. They want that division. They want to hang that flag at Miller Park. So years from now, we can look back and say, man, what a season. 2014. 2014, what a magical season. There's the flag to prove it. There is the flag to prove it. Then, of course, the Brewers want to put a National League title flag up at Miller Park. And we're not even going to talk about the World Series. Because I don't want to be the guy that everybody points at and says, you jinxed it, Mr. Brewtown. You started talking about the World Series. You started saying you think the Brewers have a shot at the World Series and winning the World Series. You were the one who jinxed it, so I'm not going to go there. So it's an exciting time here in the greatest city in the world, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's take a look at some of the Brewers news and notes. They're 72-58. They've won 1 game in a row. All right, let's start a winning streak. Kyle Lohse on the mound, as we said tonight, against the San Diego Padres out in San Diego. Mike Fiers struck out 7 over 7 innings and held the Pirates to 2 runs on 2 hits to record his 4th consecutive victory in 4 starts since being recalled on August 8th from AAA Nashville. Fiers allowed 4 runs and 28 innings of work, 32 strikeouts. So there you go. Mike Fiers. And I'm going to say this. Kudos to anybody who took a shot at Mike Fiers and put them on their fantasy team when the Brewers called him up. And I know a couple of guys. That did that because, hey, he plays for the Brewers, so you got to put him on your fantasy team. These guys, they're considered geniuses now. The rest of the league is trying to trade for Mike Fiers. Hey, give me Mike Fiers, man. I'll give you a couple of guys. They're going, no, man. Until he struggles, Mike Fiers, smart pick if you got him on your fantasy team. K-Rod allowed a single home run to Pirates center fielder Andrew McCutchen and a 2-out walk, but still earned a 39 save. And that's K-Rod. He scares you when he goes out there. He scares you, and he's been doing it all season long. But he's getting the job done. He got his 39th save yesterday, and his 343rd of his career. Rodriguez ended the game with a strikeout of Pedro Alvarez, giving him 999 strikeouts for his career. Aramis Ramirez had 3 hits and RBI and scored a run on Sunday. Since coming off the disabled list June 4th, Ramirez is batting .328, 84 for 256, 8 home runs, 37 RBIs. In 20 August games, Ramirez is batting .416, 32 for 77, 6 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 10 RBIs. Kyle Lohse will return to action tonight when the Brewers open a 3-game set against the Padres in San Diego. Lohse was forced to skip his last start due to a sore ankle, which has been bothering him since early August and forced him from his last start after 3 innings of work. Lohse is 6-4 with a 4.0 ERA in 12 career starts against the Padres, and 2-3 with a 3.38 ERA in 5 starts in Petco Park in San Diego. Gene Segura was out of the Brewers lineup for the 2nd straight day as manager Ron Reineke tries to give the struggling second-year player a mental break. Segura didn't start Saturday but played the final 4 innings after a double switch and went 1 for 2 at the plate. He's 3 for 22 in his 8 previous games. Matt Garza reported no issues after throwing a bullpen session yesterday. He'll do it again Tuesday, but will likely need a minor league rehab assignment before returning to Milwaukee's rotation. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the standings as we stand today in Major League Baseball, and then we're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers. Man, oh man, nice victory on Friday night for the Green Bay Packers. And we'll do that right after this short break. You're listening to the big show. We call it Brewtown Sports.
Brewtownsports.podomatic.com.
Well, a baseball friend is the best friend that a friend can have. A baseball friend is the true meaning of BFF.
People from all over the world take time out of their busy schedule to listen to the big show. And as always, we say thank you to all the listeners in Wisconsin, California, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Texas, Florida, Georgia, Oregon, Arizona, Maryland, Minnesota, Virginia, Rhode Island, Kansas, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, Delaware, South Dakota, Alaska, New Mexico, Michigan, and in Utah. Overseas, in Russia, the United Kingdom, China, Germany, France, our great friends to the north, Canada, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Costa Rica, Australia, Sweden, India, Israel, Romania, Vietnam, and in Greece. And as always, we say thank you for listening to the big show.
What's up, Milwaukee? Let's hear it for your Brewers. Made it to the playoffs. Let me hear you real loud. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Again, go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Go Brewers.
You know, you figure at the end of the season, the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, Mark Ananasio, will come out and say, you know what? We only won this season because of Hank the Dog. I just thought I'd mention Hank the Dog. I haven't mentioned Hank the Dog for quite a long time. He was the big buzz during spring training. That's all anybody was talking about. You know, everybody wanted to talk about Ryan Braun coming back. And everybody wanted to talk about, this team really doesn't have much. I mean, we're picking them to take fourth. I had them in second and making the playoffs. I had them in 90 victories. But most people had them taking fourth. And there were even a few people. And let me tell you something. These people were I kicked them off of Facebook because they were taking the Brewers to take last place and have a worse record than the Chicago Cubs. So I figured those guys are on heroin. I might as well kick them off my Facebook. And everybody was talking about Hank the Dog. And seriously, this could be it. I mean, this could be it. As long as you got Hank the Dog and you're bringing him out to the ballpark, the Brewers could win year after year after year. I mean, why not? And a lot of people talked about it at the beginning of the season. This is our lucky charm. This is our lucky charm. Hank the Dog. So keep him at the ballpark there, Mark Antanasio and Doug Melvin and Ron Reineke and whoever else has got anything to say about it. Keep Hank the Dog at Miller Park, man, because we need to win this division. And it's so close. I mean, it's so close you can smell it now. You can open up the windows. You can smell a victory. You can smell it here in the greatest city in the world, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let me tell you something. It's better than the smell we usually get here in Milwaukee. Let's take a look at the standings as we stand today in Major League Baseball in the American League East. The Baltimore Orioles. This team's for real. Buck Showalter's done a great job with this team. They're 73-55. They're 6 games up on the New York Yankees. Now, they've lost 3 games in a row, and they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. But I'm going to repeat it. Buck Showalter, one of my favorite managers. One of my favorite managers in Major League Baseball, has done a great job with the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees are 67-61. The Toronto Blue Jays are 66-64. They're 8 games back. They're 3-7 in the last 10 games. The Tampa Bay Rays, who have disappointed me this season, are 64-66. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. And the Boston Red Sox are 56-74. They've lost 8 straight games. They're 1-9. 1-9 in their last 10 games. The American League Central, the Kansas City Royals, they're 2 games up on the Detroit Tigers. Come on, Tigers! I am not going to be able to live with myself with the Kansas City Royals winning the Central Division in the American League because I had them, I think, in 4th place. I didn't buy into it at all. I just didn't buy into the Kansas City Royals. Detroit's 2 games back. They're 70-59. Kansas City 72-57. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Detroit 5-5 in their last 10 games, but they've won 2 games in a row. Cleveland is 66-63. They're 6 games back. They've won 2 games in a row. The Chicago White Sox, hey, the good guys from the south side of Chicago are 59-71. They've lost 6 games in a row, and they're 2-8 in their last 10 games. Minnesota's 58-72. They've lost 2 games in a row. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. Out west in the American League, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California. I love the Oakland A's. I love the Oakland A's. But the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are now 1 game up. Oakland made all these trades. Everybody said, that's it. They're the World Series champ. Nobody can beat this team. Guess what? The Angels really didn't make any moves. Mike Scioscia said, I'm going to keep this team the way it is because we're good. And look what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The Angels are 77-52, 1 game up on the Oakland A's. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Oakland is 76-53 and 3-7. In their last 10 games. Seattle is 71-58, 6 games back, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Houston is at 55-76, and Texas is at 50-79. To be a baseball fan in the state of Texas. National League Eastern Division, the Washington Nationals. Man, Matty Williams, truly one of the best third basemen of all time in Major League Baseball, is kind of showing some people, hey, he knows how to manage. You can say, oh, he's got all the talent in the world, but if you don't know how to use that talent, you're not going to win. He's winning with the Washington Nationals. They're 74-54. They're 8 games up on the Atlanta Braves. The Braves are 68-63. Washington 75-54. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. Atlanta's 7-3 in their last 10 games, but they've lost 2 games in a row. Miami is 64-65, 11 games back. They're 5-5. In their last 10 games. The New York Mets are 61-70. Philadelphia 78-72. Out west in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers of Los Angeles, California are in first place, 4.5 games up on San Francisco. The Dodgers are 74-58. San Francisco is 68-61. San Diego is 60-69. Arizona is 55-76, and Colorado is 52-77. And the only division that matters, I mean, seriously, this is the division that everybody's watching. In the Central Division of the National League, your Milwaukee Brewers are 72-58. They're 1.5 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, the Brewers are 6-4 in their last 10 games. St. Louis lost yesterday, and they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're at 70-59. Pittsburgh is 5 games back. They're 67-63. Cincinnati is 63-68. They're 9.5 games back. And the Chicago Cubs are 58-72. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games, and they've won 3 games in a row. They're playing better baseball. So that's the standings as we stand today in Major League Baseball. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Green Bay Packers. Oh, man. Fall must be in the air because we're going to talk Green Bay Packer football. We're going to do that right after this short break. You're listening to the big show. We call it Brewtown Sports.
It's finally here. The Christmas collection you've been waiting for. Armadillo Records presents Elmwood P. Scoggins. A distant fidelity. Oh, shoot, I forgot the words to this one. The Elmwood P. Scoggins and Family Christmas Album. The first Noel, the angels did sing. An album you and your family will love forever. Oh, Southern comfort and joy, It's about all the words I know in that one. It came upon a midnight flare where... What's that word right there, Sam? The Elmwood P. Scoggins and Family Christmas Album. Imagine the love in your children's eyes when they hear this Christmas classic. Oh, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. He had a very
shiny schnoz. And if you ever saw him, you'd think he's supposed to be in the land of Oz. If somebody tell them people in the background to shut up, I'm singing here.
Don't miss your chance to get this beautiful Christmas collection from one of Alabama's fastest rising stars.
Good King Wayne Joe Slash. Is that how you say that? Hello, folks. This is Elmwood P. Scoggins. You know, I can just see you and your family roasting chestnuts by an open fire, cranking that 500-watt stereo system you got for Christmas with a new Elmwood Scoggins and Family Christmas album. Here's Billy to tell you more on how you can order. And, by the way, move over, Boxcar Willie.
To order your Elmwood P. Scoggins and Family Christmas album, send 5628 to Elmwood P. Scoggins Family Christmas Album. Post Office Box 16892-172-628-143-9, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Or call 1-800-ARMADILLO. Elmwood P. Scoggins and Family Christmas Album. Only from Armadillo Records.
Welcome back to the big show. We call it Brewtownsports. Look for us on Twitter and Google+. Brewtownsports Facebook. It's called Mr. Brewtown. I almost fell asleep there listening to that commercial from Elmwood P. Scoggins. I've got the 8-track tape, by the way. Facebook is Mr. Brewtown. You know all the rest. Man, just get up on the internet and find us. We're everywhere. I mean, we really are everywhere. So just look for us, okay? I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Nice victory. And I mean really nice victory on Friday night against the Oakland Raiders. Now, some bad news. I guess it's sad news coming out of the Green Bay Packer camp. B.J. Raji, who left the game with a right arm injury. Now, the Packers originally had said they didn't think it was serious, but I've seen some national media using some of their sources saying that B.J. Raji might be out for the season. So that's not good. Also, they lost their center, Trotter, so they're going to have to fill in with a rookie. That's not good. And I'm sure that Aaron Rodgers is kind of looking at it going, oh, man, I'm going to have to adjust now. But you know what? The Packers always adjust. That's one of the good things about Mike McCarthy. This guy knows how to adjust to the situation in front of him, and that's why they've been so successful for so long. So not good news about B.J. Raji. Also, Andrew Corliss, who's a pretty good-looking, or actually Brian Bostic, who's a pretty good-looking tight end, was also injured in that game. So Aaron Rodgers, as we said, looked really good. He went 9 for 20 for 139 and a touchdown pass to Jordy Nelson and to Andrew Corliss, who came in. He's the backup tight end, who probably now for the first 5-6 weeks will be the starting tight end for the Green Bay Packers. Overall, Rodgers will finish the preseason 20 for 33, 267 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interception, for a passing rating of 116.6. You won't see him now until September 4th, the regular season opener at Seattle. The Green Bay Packers don't play their first team on that last game. That's for the guys who are on the bubble. So I thought Scott Tolzien looked really good this preseason. And I'm making a play for Scott Tolzien. And I understand the argument about Matt Flynn should be the backup quarterback because he has more experience. I think Scott Tolzien has got a better arm. He can throw the ball a lot further. And I think he's got a grasp now of the fundamentals of the Green Bay Packer offense. Matt Flynn, he knows the offense. He knows how to execute it. But his arm really concerns me. He just doesn't seem to be able to put a lot on that ball. And Scott Tolzien, he can do that over the shoulder. And I love that. It's so hard to defend. And I think it puts the Green Bay Packers now in a position where they may have to keep all 3 quarterbacks on their roster. And I know Mike McCarthy doesn't like to do that. He likes to have 2 quarterbacks on the active roster. That way he can add another tight end or another defensive back or possibly even another linebacker. But I think Scott Tolzien has shown that he can play in the NFL, and he can play within this system. So we'll see how all those cuts, the final cuts. And one of them is going to end up being cut. Now, if it's Matt Flynn is not going to go on the practice squad. Scott Tolzien may do that. He may opt to stay with the Green Bay Packers and stay on that practice squad. Matt Flynn, you'd have to release him outright. Some other team would pick him up. But I like Scott Tolzien, former Wisconsin Badger quarterback, as the second quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Also a young guy that's really taken off here this preseason for the Green Bay Packers. His name is Juwan Harris. And he's looked good, not only Friday night, but the week before against the Rams. Now, he did have a fumble, and the Packers pretty much said it was a mulligan, not to really worry about it. This guy's not going to be a guy who fumbles a lot. He carried the ball 12 times for 56 yards. He also caught 2 passes for another 42 yards, including a 31-yard gain on a screen. Now, this kid's just a little motor. He's just an itty-bitty little guy. I mean, he's not big. He's big in body, but not big in size. He just motors. And that gives the Packers such a nice, because you got James Stark. And you've got Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy, of course, is the featured back. This is a guy you want to get the ball to. And all of a sudden, the Green Bay Packers, and we haven't had this in years, they have a good running system. And they're also going to flare out to the running backs, which is great. I mean, when you've got Eddie Lacy, who can catch, you got James Starks, who can catch. Both of those guys can run, and they can knock some people down. I mean, that's it. They can take on those linebackers. Now you got Juwan Harris, who can catch the ball, who can run. I mean, all of a sudden, you got 3 options. And with Mike McCarthy, that means a whole bunch of new plays. And Mike McCarthy loves that. That's the one thing about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy will sit down, and he'll look at each player and what he can do with them. How many plays can I have that are around that? Eddie Lacy now, all of a sudden they've got all these plays that they didn't have last year because they plan on also throwing the ball to him, and with James Starks. So all of a sudden, a team that already is a team that relies on the pass so much and is so good at it, now all of a sudden they have 3 more options for Aaron Rodgers to dump the ball off to. And that is huge. I mean, this takes an offense that already is one of the top 5 offenses in this league and makes it even better. So we're all excited here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the whole state of Wisconsin. Let's just say the whole world, because I think everybody is a Green Bay Packer fan. Deep down in everybody's heart, everybody looks at the Green Bay Packers and says, you know what? Yeah, I kind of like the Packers. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I kind of like those Packers. I think people only in Chicago, seriously, are the only people that do not get the Green Bay Packers. So like we said, the Packers look good on Friday night. And the defense looked pretty good, too. I was excited to see Julius Peppers. He's playing a more of a outside linebacker position who's on the line. He's standing up, basically, on the line. B.J. Raji, that's not good. That concerns me because B.J. Raji, at that nose tackle spot, he's the guy that he'll stop the run. You're not going to have that run up the middle if you got B.J. Raji in there. And without him, that puts a lot of pressure on the Green Bay Packers defensive line, which is thin right now. Of course, you got Clay Matthews. The defense has looked good. They have really looked good. Are they going to be better than last year? I think so. I think with the drafting of Clinton Dix and the signing of Julius Peppers, you automatically made the team better. Now, with the Packers offense, all this defense has to do is be 15th ranked overall. And the Green Bay Packers are the team to beat. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen, when you have this offense. Well, that's pretty much our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, because I sure enjoyed giving it to you. I got to go, man, because my voice is about ready to just go. So have a good day, everybody. We will talk to you soon. As always, I thank you for listening to The Big Show. Go Green Bay Packers and go Milwaukee Brewers. Man, we can smell victory here in the greatest city in the world, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Have a good week, everybody. Mr. Brewtown has left the studios. Drive home safely. Beep, beep.